Mic check, what two, what two. What's up, y'all? It is Sauce right here. I appreciate you listening to me on YouTube. I am doing live streams as often as I can. A lot of times, the only time that I have time is in my car when I am going somewhere, dropping like my daughter off or something like that, or maybe I'm going to the grocery store, maybe walking the dog, something like that. That's the only time I really have time to get online. I am a single mother now, a wealthy single mother now. I am healthy. I am wealthy. Ain't it that? I am rich. I am that bitch. Who says that? I don't even know where I got that from. You know where I got that from? I think I remember. I got that from this meme I saw on Instagram. It was a spiritual awakening, like Instagram account where they had like a meme on there, and it was Bobby from King of the Hill. You know that character, Bobby King of the Hill, and he was sitting on his floor Indian style. And at the top of it, it said, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, and a bitch. Like Bobby was meditating. That's where I got that from. But I've heard that said over and over again in like TikToks. And women like use that as their affirmation. And I think that is so damn funny. Being on TikTok as much as I am now, I don't really follow people, but a lot of times TikTok will put stuff in my feed. Like when I open up TikTok, I'll just see something. And one of the best TikToks I've seen is this one guy who cooks, and I just sit there and I just watch his TikToks over and over because he teaches you how to cook. One of his TikToks has 6 million views on it of him just cooking salmon. It's like, damn, who knew that somebody could get 6 million views off of a video of them cooking salmon? My God. Anyway, so um I just recently looked at my comment section because I don't look at my comment section as much as I used to. I've been trying to get Mark to actually do it because I just really don't have time, and I don't need to see any comments that are going to take me out of pocket. And a lot of people, get disrespectful in comment sections. A lot of people lack self-control and are disrespectful on social media in general. So it's not just me. It's not just, men and women, but I think who get it the most, I said not just men and women, like that ain't all it is. It's not just me is what I'm trying to say. But I do think that on certain platforms, women get it the most. And like I've said a million times, a lot of women get it on YouTube, a lot of Black women especially. And so I was looking into my comment section, and just for the record, um, I don't mind people disagreeing with me, but I have no problem blocking people. The block feature is amazing to me because what I've noticed with YouTube, when you ask YouTube to withhold certain types of comments for review, a lot of times they'll still let the audience see those pictures, and those comments, and I'll notice that those comments will have replies to it when they shouldn't because it's supposedly held for review. So with it being held for review, that means other people shouldn't be able to see it. So why does it have replies? So putting your comments, setting it to held for review barely works. Okay. So what I just have to do is either cut off the comment section altogether, which I've been trying to avoid doing that, but I did do it a couple of weeks back for like a extended amount of time. You can either cut off the comments altogether or leave the comments open and just go to the help for review comments later on and then just delete them. Because it's the only way it's going to work, deleting and just blocking people. It can't be you just clicking that person's account as spam. Because this time I've clicked people's accounts who've spammed me to death, and they still are capable of spamming me. And it's just like so weird to me. So anyway, I was going through my held for review comments today for the first time. And actually, it's comments in my held for review comments that are there because of a term someone has used. Because I have a blacklist. I have a blacklist of terms that people cannot use inside of my comment section, and it'll immediately just hold your comment if you use that term. So a lot of times, a comment that's completely fine will get caught up in the held for review section, right? And I'll have to just approve the comment. But for the most part, the blacklist definitely holds out the comments that people use these specific terms. Like, I don't like bitches in there, hoe in there, liar in there, suicide in there, dead in there, fat in there, ugly in there, wig in there, weave in there. You know what I'm saying? All of the stuff that beta males usually use as tools to harm women when they can't intellectually debunk something a woman is saying is all in that blacklist. So what is prominent on YouTube, and I said this before, is this is a beta male community. And a lot of these beta males don't even realize they beta male until you bring it to their attention, because they don't know any better. It's like the blind leading the blind. It's not enough alpha representation here for them to be able to compare. You know, it's nothing to compare it against in order to be able to determine who you are as a man. You know, if you are a young man on this platform looking for some type of leadership. And it's unfortunate that even men who are over 35 are on this platform looking for leadership and getting it from a poisonous source. Now, I was looking through my comments, and the other day I posted a video, a TikTok I did, where I was talking about how Black men create single mothers. Right now, I want everybody to keep in mind that I hold everybody accountable for stuff. I don't just hold men accountable for stuff. I hold Black women accountable for stuff as well. So for every video that I have that says, Black man, please don't do blah, 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 there's a video out there for a woman that says, Black woman, please don't do blah, blah, blah. Okay? So it's not just me holding men accountable. But what I do want to bring to everybody's attention who doesn't know this is that there is a lack of Black male accountability in our community. We have an issue with that. And so a guy on my Black men create single mothers video, a guy comes into the comment section and he says, there are 30 different contraceptives that women can use. Why does it have to be a man's responsibility to put on a condom? And this proves what I just said, that there is a lack of male accountability in the Black community. Because he's literally saying to me, there are 30 different contraceptives that was created for women. Why should men be responsible for their own goddamn appendage? Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. A lot of Black men want to be classified as leaders or kings when it's convenient for them. But when it's time for them to do something that has to do with leadership or take responsibility for being a leader, a lot of times they back out of that all of the time. If you don't want children, or if you're not sure about the woman that you're dating, whether she is someone that you want to be with for the rest of your life, you have to have just a little bit of self-control and just be like, you know what, let me protect my lineage. Let me protect my appendage because this woman could have a STD, or let me protect myself in some type of way from this woman because I don't know who she is. I don't know her. I don't love her. I'm just having sex with her because, I just want something to do. Okay. Now, men don't want to do that. I put on my story in Instagram a poll. And inside of that poll, I asked people, should women carry condoms? And for every person that said no, I sent them a message. And for every person that said yes, I sent them a message. And so with one guy who said yes, he was a Black guy, he said yes, women should carry condoms. He also elaborated and told me that women should carry condoms because most men don't want to carry them. And he said the reason why he doesn't want to carry them is because he doesn't feel comfortable with carrying them. And every relationship that he gets in, or every time he has sex with women, most of those women don't want him to put on one anyway. And I was just like, wow. Still, player, still, you would put your well-being, your legacy, the possibility, the risk in the hands of somebody else. Your future, what's happening with your life, you are going to put in the hands of some woman that you don't even know if you care about or not. Really? You're going to leave that up to her, right? This is what he was saying. I just couldn't believe it. So this goes back to the guy in my YouTube comment section who says, there's 30 different contraceptives for women and it's only a few for men. And I said, that's sad because it's still putting pressure on women to take accountability, but not putting any pressure on men. They would prefer creating 30 ways to have contraceptives for women instead of encouraging men to have self-control. Let me tell you the difference between alphas and betas. And there's a reason why I use alphas and betas. Let me explain the whole alphas and betas things for those of you who may be confused. There are two different types of men in this world. To me, I put them in two different categories, okay? There's no in between. That's how cut and dry this is. It's black and white. It's up and down. It's left or right. There's no middle. There's no gray. There's no nothing. It's either one or the other for me. All right, just to keep things simple and general. It's black and white with me. So it's either you're alpha or you're beta. You're a good man or you're a bad man. You're not somewhere in between. Either you 100% a bad person or you 100% a good person. You can make mistakes, but common sense will tell you certain things you shouldn't do because you're a sleazeball. Okay, so for me, when I speak of men, when I talk about men, instead of putting all men in one boat, I deciphered the difference between the two when I'm speaking to you guys so you can know right now when I'm saying this specific thing, I'm talking about a beta. Or when I'm talking about this specific thing, which is another thing, maybe opposite of the thing that I'm talking about, I'll say I'm talking about an alpha. All right. Now, every time I come in my comment section, it's easy to spot a beta. Because number one, the person that's commenting is upset at the fact that I'm using the term beta to describe a man. That's already letting me know he a beta to begin with. He about to be an issue altogether. Because calling someone a beta or alpha should not make a man upset who is actually an alpha. The only way a person could get upset with being called a beta is because he knows. He knows what comes with that term beta. And instead of him doing what he's supposed to do as a man to become alpha, he's sitting somewhere frustrated, letting his circumstances stop him from improving who he is as a person. Your circumstances should never stop you from trying to improve who you are as a person. Any person who is classified as a beta and has been told they're beta or has had beta tendencies or might be thinking in the back of their mind, maybe I am a beta. You have every opportunity in this world to turn around and be something better than what the fuck you are. So anyway, God comes into my comment section, clearly a beta, says to me there's 30 different contraceptives out there for women. Why should men be responsible for creating single mothers? Women should stop opening their legs. Oh, so women should be held accountable and have self-control, but men shouldn't. It's basically what he's saying to me. So in response, I say to him, beta, you say shit like this, then wonder why people call Black women strong and consider you weak. The reason why is because of the lack of Black male accountability, especially when it comes to leadership roles or for men to lead by example. When it's time for men to lead by example, what they prefer to do is say, why can't the Black woman do it? Anytime someone speaks about Black male accountability in the community, the first thing that most of these betas say is, how come the Black woman can't do blah, blah, blah? Or why didn't you say this and that about the Black woman? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, the reason why whatever video or whatever clip I'm in and talking about a Black man, the reason why I'm not talking about the Black man at that moment is because the video is specifically about a Black man. When it's about a Black woman, I'll have another title of the video so people can know I'm talking about a Black woman. But what I don't understand is why Black men who are beta feel so uncomfortable every time a woman says to them that they are lacking the leadership roles and they're lacking taking accountability. And then they turn around and ask why they have to take accountability. and then wonder why we are classified as the stronger sex outside of our race, whether you're talking to a white person, Puerto Rican person, Asian person, doesn't matter who you're talking to. When they look at the African American community, they consider Black women the stronger sex. The Black woman is the smarter one, the one with the more money, the one who's running the households. Black women are out here winning. We are winning. We have our education. We're spending more money. We're out here with businesses. It's us, not Black men. So have you ever wondered why that is? It isn't because we want to take on the leadership roles. It's because we are required to and we don't have a choice in the matter. All right? So, hey, is this Anna? Anna, my body is my temple, and no man will plant a seed in me that I don't want, excluding sexual assault. Of course, I have many forms of birth control, including abstinence. Grown people don't have excuses. You damn right. You damn right. Thank you, Anna. Anna. Thank you for saying that inside of my comment section. Sounds bright to me. But see, what a lot of people don't understand is that there are women out there that fall in love. They get in a relationship with somebody. They think going to get married, to get all comfortable with the guy that they're with and move in with him and all this stuff. And then life happens. Shit happens. Chick gets pregnant. Does that mean that because she decided to not wear protection or, because she trusted this man, that now suddenly she should be the only one accountable for that pregnancy? That's my question. Because what I'm noticing inside of the Black male community, the Black men, is once a woman gets pregnant, he looks at her like, why'd you get pregnant? You shouldn't get pregnant then. Like she was procreating alone. We want to say it's a Black woman's responsibility, yeah, but it's a Black man's responsibility as well. And the reason why the roles are so reversed in the Black community, and Black men are last in the race of men of the world. Men of the world. Black men are the least ones to succeed. They're last. Do you understand that? And then you have Black women out here who are going toe to toe as far as the business and wealth and finance departments. Let that sit with you for a moment. Why is that? It isn't because women want that. It's because women have been put in positions to where we have justified why we shouldn't hold Black men accountable for stuff. And once you get a community to where only one race of person or once you get into a community where it's only one gender responsible for taking accountability, and it's only one gender who has the leadership role, and that gender is all female, then you start to understand why things are that way. Both are accountable, but unfortunately, women get stuck with the kid more often than not. That's why, as a woman, you have to be extra careful to protect yourself. So instead of you encouraging men, or instead of, and to me, this is ass backwards. This is like putting the cart before the horse. So instead of encouraging men to have self-control, you instead indoctrinate women to believe that instead they should just keep protecting themselves from men, because men are just going to be allowed to do whatever the fuck it is that they want to do. That's basically what you're saying to me. And it's ass backwards. To me, it's like, okay, if we want to classify Black men as the accountable leaders that they're supposed to be, we need to encourage them to be that and give them some type of, punishment or some type of something for them not being that, instead of punishing women for not being what men should be being. when women weren't supposed to be being this anyway. Men. I hear men complaining about women who don't submit and women who are not docile and domesticated or whatever. Women don't want to allow men to lead the household, and I'm thinking to myself, the betas that complain about this the most are the ones who wouldn't take accountability in a leadership role to begin with. You know, you can encourage men, but reality is, it is what it is. No, you can't say reality, it is what it is. See, this is the problem. People are lazy. People are lazy mentally. You're lazy. You don't want to fight for nothing. We have seen, okay, within the past year, we've seen reality switch up quickly. Why? Because people began to fight for something that they knew was wrong. I have never, in the 40 years I have been living, seen so many companies, signs, commercials, movies, all this stuff celebrating Black History Month. Are y'all seeing it everywhere? Google, YouTube, damn Netflix, everywhere. Everything is Black. Everywhere I go, it's Black everything. In the 40 years I have been living, I never seen that. I never seen companies that were ran by crackers celebrate Black History Month the way that I seen it the beginning of this month. You know why it's changed? Because some people gathered together and said, fuck that. This is not our reality. It is not is what it is. We about to change something and improve something that we knew should have been fixed a long time ago. And we're going to put together the energy to get it done this time. And we're not taking the bullshit anymore. Period. So when it comes to the Black community and you see no Black male accountability, as women and as alpha males, and I tell alpha males this all the time, I tell alpha males or self-proclaimed good men, stop telling women to just choose better and instead start giving these beta males and deadbeat dads, stop giving them social acceptance and start holding them accountable for when they mislead or manipulate or try to weasel their way out of taking responsibility for something. Not just sitting there just being like, it is what it is, as a woman, we should just tell women. That's like saying, lady who's walking down the street minding her damn business, there's a possibility that even if you're fully dressed, you're going to get raped. And if you do get raped, we're going to look at you and we're going to say, you know what? You should have protected your damn self. Because, you just walking down the street. So when you're walking down the street, you just better make sure that you're protecting yourself. Because you know what? You might get raped. And when you do, oh, well, it's reality. It is what it is. Not let's go find this bastard that raped her and put him behind bars. It's, ma'am, you should have protected yourself. Come on, y'all. Really? That's like, really? Come on, man. We see a problem that's happening inside of our community and we always sit around and try to expect other people to fix it for us. Why do you think so many other people are making all of these businesses for our community and they're generating all of this money? How do you think all of these Asians were walking around here with these beauty supply stores and making all of this motherfucking money off of Black people? Because it wasn't until recently that some Black people was just like, you know what? Maybe we should have our own stores, start our own businesses, make our own money instead of being lazy, expecting the other people to bring the things that we need inside of our community to us. Think about all of the stores that's in the Black community. For the many years that all of us have been living. I've been living 40 years. Any hood I done walked in, any Black community that I walked in, most of the stores inside of that Black community were not owned by Black people. But if you go into communities that are Asian or Hispanic or even white people, all of their stores are like owned by white people. If you walk into a Korean neighborhood, you see a whole strip mall in Korean, owned by Koreans, but not in the black community. You know why? Because it's black people walking around here saying shit like, oh, it is what it is. This is just reality. Man, fuck all that. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. It's not reality. It's not. It's not. Black women, especially let's just talk about black people. Black people, the hoteps, the I am centered into my spirituality and walking around with unks and shit and talking about Egyptology and all of the people who follow what's the face? What's that guy? Why can't I remember this dude? Dr. Umar, following behind him, and everybody that's classifying themselves as pro-black and whoever, right? These are the people that also need to put forth the energy to not just hold themselves accountable, not just tell women, hey, you should just choose better. Everybody has to play a position in order for it to be fixed. It can't just be only one gender of people or only one kind of people trying to fix it. That's all I'm saying. All right, so Mr. 1911. Mr. 1911, you said basically men get all the blame either way. Did you not just did he not just hear what I said? Did he miss out on what I just said? Do I need to repeat myself, Mr. 1911? We want black men to be leaders, right? Black men want to be in a better position that they're in, right? So that means they have to take on leadership roles. All right? Taking on a leadership role requires that you have to start taking accountability and responsibility for your actions and encouraging other men and women around you to be responsible for their actions. Instead of you being the beta, standing there pointing at a black woman and just blaming her and telling her to take accountability or her to be responsible. And I just said this. Usually when I'm talking to alpha males and they say stuff to women like, you should have chose better. You went through this negative experience with this man, you should have chose better. Okay, so you're telling a black woman she should have chose better. She wouldn't have been in this situation had she chose better. Okay, so as a man who's giving this advice to a woman, what are you doing when you see the black man who has done this to her? What are you doing when you see the black man who has done this to her? Nothing. Give him high five. You still give him social acceptance. And that's the problem. When I see the self-proclaimed good men tell women, I think that you should choose better men and protect yourself from these men. Yeah, that sounds good, but what are you doing as a self-proclaimed good man or alpha to improve the experiences of the women that you lead? You also have to take part in it as well because it's an equal effort. You can't expect women to just have and take the responsibility of repairing a community. Because then once you do that, what ends up happening is she's classified as the strong one. She's the one that's taking on the leadership role. She's the only one that's taking accountability. And then the roles start switching, and then everyone's looking around like, why is the strong black woman what the strong black woman is? That's why. Because everyone is always pointing at the black woman, wanting the black woman to take responsibilities. So guess what the black woman is doing? Taking responsibility, taking accountability, taking blame, and still having to present ourselves as strong through all of it. Regardless to whether we've been raped, whether we're ill, whether we've been experienced some type of trauma, whether we've been beat or abused, whether we're depressed. People don't even give us an opportunity to be tired. We don't even have environments. A lot of us don't even have environments that were created for us to be feminine or vulnerable. People are expecting us to just be strong all the time and perfect all the time. You know why? Because we are the ones that always take the blame, especially when we're dealing with a community that majority of the men in our community are beta. And we accept that because, quote unquote, it is what it is. It is what it is. Super Bowl. If you're watching Super Bowl, listen later. If you know, whatever. I don't even know why you even clicked in. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, black women are targeted the most because women, scroll up, scroll up. I'm too far down. You have to make men show you if they don't cut them loose. Try to do it before you have their kids. So fleeing from them is easier and possible. Exactly. Let me tell you something. It is never, before I move on from that, it is never going to be impossible for me to flee from any man. I will, you guys see me do it. I will hop my ass on a plane and move 2,000 miles away from a dude just to get, okay? Like, let me tell you something. I could have very much stayed in Atlanta and dealt with my son's father. I could have. Other women would have stayed in Atlanta, followed him around, begged him to be a father and all this shit. I was like, nigga, I am out of here. I'm moving to California like I said I was going to do. Like the plans that we had during our relationship. During me and my son's father relationship, the plan was always to move to California. You thought I was about to give up on my dream or not make a better life for my son because of some nigga in Atlanta who wants to collect vagina? Come on, man. Come on. Just like they're alphas and betas, females are built that way too. You have alpha females and beta females. And a lot of times people confuse me as an alpha. They try to pretend, they try to depict me as an alpha. Well, really, I'm a Sigma female. And a Sigma female is a whole nother thing. People think Sigma females want to be alpha, but no, people just think that we are because of our leadership roles. Because we, it's a long explanation. Okay, I get to that another day. But anyway, it may feel lonely to be without a man, but if you're raising the child and doing everything on your own, you're still lonely with him there. Exactly. A lot of people don't understand that being a single mother, a lot of women are still quote unquote solo parents inside of marriages, inside of relationships, because a lot of times these men still end up disappearing in a specific type of way. They'll start going out with their friends all of the time. They'll start working all of the time. They'll just stop being around. They'll even still be in the relationship. They just will have some type of distance between them and their children, or them and their wife when it comes to the children, or them and their boyfriend, and their girlfriend when it comes to the children. So having a group that I have for single mothers is plenty of solo parents in there who are married. And they come in to just talk to us because they feel like a single parent. And single parenting, my daughter just texted me, sorry. Single parenting is something that people of all races do, right? If you go onto Instagram right now and you put single mother in, most of the women you're going to see are white. I mean, and you'll just be scrolling and scroll your finger, just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. You're going to see white women, single mothers with their children. Some of them are divorced. Some of their partners passed away. Some of them never got married at all. And you're just going to be scrolling, scrolling all these white women. And you might see a little black women sprinkled in there. And you see a lot of people cheering these white women who are single mothers on. All right. But in the black community, you got men not knowing the difference between a decent single mother and a baby mama. You got betas out here not knowing the difference. And so they create all of this negative content, mad, bitter, and frustrated because they made poor choices in women in general. Being a bad mother, whether you're married, single, whatever your relationship status is, you're just a bad mother. When you're a bad person, you're a bad person to be in a relationship with, regardless to whether you're a mother or not. So when they try to make it seem like all of these negative character traits are only they're only germane to women who have children out of wedlock or women who are raising children alone. It's just weird to me because it's like, homie, you're using this as an excuse because you need a scapegoat. You need somebody to blame these poor choices you made on. You chose a woman with a dubious character, whether she had children or not. She could not have children and still have the dubious character of being a liar or manipulating you or sleeping around with a whole bunch of men or all of the things that they claim single mothers are. Women who don't have kids can also be these things. So it's like, dude, as a beta male, you probably don't understand this, but every alpha that's walking in the street gets that. They understand that. So they know how to choose between a baby mama and a single mother. So anyway, Black women are targeted the most because a lot of Black women have given up on protecting, a lot of Black men have given up on protecting Black women, being their husband to give that kind of protection. Plus, brothers and uncles aren't involved like they should be. Well, I'm not sure why Black men have decided to give up on protecting Black women. I'm not sure where that comes from, and I'll probably try to do some more research to try to figure it out. But I refuse to believe that it's something that a Black woman is doing to them specifically. To me, I feel like it has to be something that he's dealing with just in life in general that's making him not have enough resources or feel like he doesn't have enough power to protect his own self. So no way will he be able to protect a woman as well. I think a lot of men misunderstand the definition of what being a protector or provider is. Now, don't get it twisted. It's a lot of women out here who are not innocent. I tell y'all all the time, every time I get on this goddamn live stream, I tell y'all all the time, I cannot stand these hypergamy gurus when I get onto YouTube. I cannot stand these women, these Black women that get onto this platform and they teach women to go out here and look for men who have money, right? Selfishly look for men who have money when these women themselves don't have a pot to fucking piss in. They're not teaching these women to go out there and get their own bread. That shit bugs me. They only telling these women to go out there and just look for men who have money, and that's it. And if he ain't got no money, then don't fuck with him. It's like, bitch, what are you teaching them about what kind of woman they should be? Like, it annoys me that they do that. So you got to deal with that. And then you got the other women out here who are on some divestment tip where they're teaching women how to date outside of their race because, that's the solution to our problem. Just date outside of your race because your zaddy is going to treat you so wonderful. No, it's like you got men outside of your race who are also like terrible men. So you have to be a good person across the board yourself so you can be able to decipher the difference between a good man and a bad man, regardless to his race. Regardless to his race. That there are good men out there, there are bad men out there. I'm sorry if you can't hear me because YouTube buffers a lot. My bad. My bad. But I don't do hypergamy gurus and I don't do divestment gurus. I don't like what the Black women on this site, on YouTube specifically, promote on here. Now, when I get onto Instagram, I love the content creators over there who are Black and female because those female content creators over there on Instagram, they are teaching women about business, finances, being better wives, being better girlfriends. They're not teaching the things that I hate. Oh, the third thing that I hate as well is teaching women that the only way that they will be valuable is if they get married. Oh, that's terrible to me because when I'm speaking, like when I'm saying something intellectual or I'm teaching and someone says to me, well, where's your husband? Where's your high value man? Where's your such and such? I'm thinking, so the only time what I'm saying can be valid or intellectual or correct is if I'm sleeping with a man or because a man is around me or because I'm married. That's the only time I become of value, when I'm sleeping with a man. Let me tell you something. The kind of woman I am, my worth is not determined by who I'm sleeping with or whether or not I'm married or whether or not my husband is wealthy. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. I'm an individual. So the kind of person that I am and how much I'm worth and, my education and my intellect and my financial education and what I'm doing as far as being a mother and my relationships and all of that stuff comes from me, not who I'm dating. Who I'm dating is irrelevant. That's neither here nor there. No one cares about that. Like, come on, man. Now, you said that the the brothers and the uncles are no longer being involved in situations. Well, I don't even think that. I think that excuse me, brothers and um brothers and uncles. I'm sorry, I'm moving my car because like these kids were like right by me. Um, I think brothers and uncles are no longer being involved because a lot of them can't be. Some of them locked up. Some of them end up having families of their own. Like my cousin, I'll never forget this. My cousin, I have a lot of male cousins. And I said to my male cousin, when everything was going on with my son's father, my male cousin came to me and he said, "Do you want me to fly?" Because we're in Northern California. He said, "Do you want me to fly to Atlanta and whoop his ass and come back here?" Now, I know my cousin. I know he will. My cousin is a big dude. He's built like a football player. He does not play. He will break my son's father in half. And when he came to me and he said it, I was thinking to myself, now, if I say yes to this, what's going to happen to my cousin and his kids and his wealth and his business and what's happening with him? Because he done snapped my deadbeat ass baby daddy to death. He done snapped him in half. How is that going to be beneficial to my cousin? So I had to make a decision for my cousin. My cousin is one of the most brilliant minds in the state of California. Okay, he is into robotics. He's wealthy. He has two beautiful children. If my cousin gets onto an airplane and goes to ratchet ass Atlanta to break my baby daddy in half, that'd be the worst thing that he could do for himself because he'll end up in jail. And that brilliance that he has will be no longer useful. He'll be in jail. He can't put it to use. So it's a waste. It's a waste. Now, he wasn't the only family member that was like, "You want me to break his goddamn neck?" But most of my male family members was like, "You want me to go down there and kick this down there and do?" No, don't stoop to that level because I need you here for my son. I need you here to take care of my son. I need you to be a positive role model. I need to be able to say, "Hey, my cousin this or my uncle that or my brother this is blah blah blah. If you need somebody to talk to, go over there." I mean, let me tell you something. My daughter's father. My daughter is 20. My daughter's father checks up on my son every other day. My daughter's father texts me, "So how's justice? Does justice mean anything?" He sends justice toys, clothes. My daughter's father. Do y'all understand? And here's my thing. The reason why he does that is because he understands the significance of a child needing a father or just needing a male role model, especially when they're male. He's alpha. He's alpha. And every time I look back and be like, how in the hell did I end up getting pregnant by this beta? How did that even happen? Like, what? Like every time I think about it, I'll be like, how did I even end up with a beta like this one? Like, how did I end up pregnant by a beta like this one? And let me explain to you how. Let me explain to you how. Because a lot of times, betas depict themselves as alpha. Often. Often. So when you fall in love with somebody, ladies, when you fall in love with somebody or you meet somebody and y'all start dating, and it feels so right, and he's saying all of the right things, doing all of the right things, you want to get comfortable, you want to be vulnerable and feminine and show that you need love, and you become this woman that is perfect for him because you're like, this is who I want to be with. I want to be the best version of myself for him. Because that's what women do. That's what we do. When we're falling in love with somebody, we want to show our feminine energy to this man. We want to be everything for him. And that's how I was with my son's father. But what I didn't do that I should have done was keep my side eye on this dude for at least a year or two. And a lot of women don't want to waste time. They consider it wasting time because they feel like taking the time to get to know a man they don't want to do because they have a biological clock that's ticking. They got so many things that they want to do. They think it's a race. I got to get married by 30. I expire at 30, so I got to get married. I'm 38 now, so I got to hurry up. Or sometimes they're like, well, I'm so sure this is the man that I want to be with. You have to be sure that he is the man that wants to be with you and deserves to be with you. It can't just be you're like, oh, I want to be with this man. I just want to be with him. I know he's perfect for me. I know he's blah, blah, blah. I just want to be such and such for him. I want to love him. I want to do blah, blah, blah. Now stop. Like, now hold on, pump your brakes. Does this man even genuinely want you? And does this man even genuinely deserve you? These are the things that you have to think about when you start falling in love with these men. And you gotta give it time. Because at some point, these betas get tired of pretending. Now, you want to say, like I used to say, hey, ladies, do the 90-day rule. Just wait. Get to know a guy. Just wait. Men will wait 90 days. Sex confuses the situation. And that's another thing that threw me off about me and my son's father relationship, because our sex life was we didn't really have an amazing one. We weren't even having sex like that. So he wasn't using me for sex. You need to understand that men can use you for a number of things, especially if they're narcissistic. They may not be using you for sex. They could be using you for a completely different thing. They might need some confidence from you. They might need your money. They might need to be out here trying to make their ex jealous. Shit like that. You don't even think, like, you in your mind, you probably thinking a man ain't gonna go to these extreme lengths. know, just what? No, he ain't gonna move in with you, have a baby with you, and do all of this stuff with you, plan weddings and shit, just because he's trying to make his ex jealous. Yes, he will. Listen, I was watching Forensic Files earlier today, and they repeat the same Forensic Files over and over and over again on HLN. So I was watching this episode of Forensic Files that I had seen two other times. Right? And so I'm watching it, and in it, there was this guy who called into 911, and he was saying, hey, my daughter is gone. Can't find my daughter. Right? His daughter had to be like 6 or something like that. He was like, I can't find my daughter. She wasn't at school, blah, 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 blah. Right? So he goes to the police. They can't find her body. They don't know where she at. They went in her room. All they found was a few little specks of blood and a few little hairs that were, hairs that could pass through the house because of the people that lived there. They didn't know where she was. They didn't find her body. They didn't know where she was. And so the police, a police officer, a detective, just had a gut feeling that the father had, murdered his daughter, right? He just had a gut feeling. He was like, something is telling me that this man has done this. And I don't know why. There's no proof that he's done it. It's nothing that's pointing in the direction of this man. But I have a gut feeling. My instinct is telling me. So he goes to the guy and he's like, listen, I think you did this. And I think that we're going to find out where you buried this body at, because you didn't bury it deep enough. Because if you don't bury it deep enough, the animals are going to pick at it and it's going to come up out the ground and we're going to find her. And he was just saying this just off of a whim because the police had put a GPS tracker on his car. Right? So this dumb man drives to where he buried his own daughter, picks up her body and takes her somewhere else and buries her deeper into the ground. And the GPS is following him everywhere he goes. And that's how he ends up getting caught and being charged with murder. So then it was about the motive. They were like, why would he do this to his own daughter? Well, they started to check the GPS, and not only did he go back to where he had buried his daughter, He had been going to his ex's house every day, and they start contacting his ex. And his ex said that he was giving her like these creepy vibes, and he had asked her to marry him. And she said no. So he got upset. So she changed the locks on her house. And she was scared that he was coming to kill her. This man had actually also killed the mother of his child years before. And they're just finding this out. And all he wanted to do, first of all, he ended up killing his wife and his daughter in years apart, all because he had been trying to get back with his ex. So yes, they go to great lengths. Some men don't have it all the way up. Let me tell you something. Sometimes these men, and it's mostly men, the elevators don't go to the top floor, man. Some of these men, I'm telling you, they're not men, they're betas. The elevator don't go to the top floor. And when they start, I know women can relate to this. You ever been in a relationship with a man and you can tell he don't want to be in a relationship anymore because he just starts being mean to you, and you can tell he with another woman? Because when men get with another woman, no matter how they think they haven't changed inside of that relationship, they get really mean, they get really cruel because they're interested in someone else. And instead of just leaving the relationship, it's either they don't want to hurt your feelings, so they stay, or they're too weak to put forth the energy to deal with a breakup because they feel like it's harder to break up with someone than it is to stay in a relationship, lie to them, and manipulate them day after day after day after day. Isn't that stupid? I asked people, I put in my stories, I said, have you ever cheated? I put that in my Instagram stories as a poll. Have you ever cheated? People were like, yeah. So I go and I ask, because Instagram tell me who said yes. I go and I ask, I say, why did you cheat? Well, they was being abusive in a relationship and I didn't like what they was doing anymore, or I was interested in somebody else. And the first thing I said was, why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you just break up? Breaking up and just being with who you want to be with was a lot easier than you staying in a relationship and manipulating this person. They're like, no, it would have been harder. I didn't want to hurt them. And we was living together and it just seems like it would have been harder to just let go. And I'm like, that is not logical. It's harder to sit there and lie to a person for an extended amount of time when you want to just be with somebody else. It's easier. You are free and relieved when you break up with somebody you don't want to be with. But I think a lot of people are scared to do that because they feel like if they break up with that person that they're with, that other person that they think is so magical will most likely not end up being that. And they don't want to break up with that person. They might genuinely care about a person that they're with and just want both. That's what my son's father used to tell me. I want both of y'all. I was like, nigga, you don't bump your you don't bump your whole head. I don't know what the fuck. You straight tripping. So anyway, as Black women, right? The reason why we're classified as the strong Black woman, the reason why everyone classifies us as that is because inside of our community, we no longer hold Black men accountable for the mistakes that they make when they are in leadership roles. So if they're husbands or their boyfriends and they create families and then decide to abandon those families, they don't get any type of consequences or repercussions unless the women, the ex-wives or the ex-girlfriends, put their foot on their neck. That's how they get the consequences and the repercussion. That's the only way, because society is not going to classify them as a pariah and start treating them bad. And that's what's the terrible part about, the Black community, just society in general. They allow men to get away with anything and then put so much pressure on women to be these specific type of creatures. And the only reason why it's like that is because women don't fight for it to be different. We just saw a lot of change happen in the world because of some people just being finally fed up with what they were experiencing. And so now we see people being more receptive to Black people. Now, don't get it twisted. There's still racism out there. We still got people who are out here racist, but it's not as bad as it was. I'm seeing Black people celebrated by all races of people, and I wasn't seeing that before. Let me tell you something else I see. When I go on Google now and I type in Black women, all I see is a whole bunch of beautiful Black women. Type in Black woman with an attitude. You still won't find the stuff that you used to see. When I used to Google Black woman, it used to be all of these ratchet fights. It would be videos of Black women fighting each other, a whole bunch of pregnant Black women. They made Black women look ugly and angry. All you put was Black woman. It would be ugly, angry. And it's not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore. I don't even see that anymore. And if you are Googling Black woman and you see that still, you have to factor in what is it that you're actually watching on social media that's making all of the algorithms and making your computer collect all of this negative information about Black women. Because I don't see any of that anymore. Ever since I stopped arguing back and forth with Black men about the Black community, I don't even see all of that negative stuff I used to see about Black women all the time. What I notice about algorithms is that it will put in your face what you're looking for. You will attract what you're looking for. So if you want to believe that Black women are bad, you consistently see that image everywhere you turn, on your phone, on your TV, on your computer, everywhere. Everything around you will represent that. I don't even see it anymore. And I honestly feel like it has something to do with Miss Harris. It has something to do with Mrs. Harris. She's vice president now. She's the first African American / Asian vice president. And I think between her and Michelle Obama and Black women actually coming out of their shell saying, hey, I'm not the woman that everybody has depicted me to be. I'm not this angry figure that deserves to be dehumanized. I am intelligent. I do have money. I do have beautiful hair. I do have a beautiful complexion. I do work out. I do eat right. Instead of this negative perspective that everybody has been pushing in our faces. Okay? Miss B, what's up, Miss B? What up, Gotti? Gotti, I'm gonna tell you this, and I hope everybody hear me. I have told you so many times that a lot of times you disappoint me because you entertain the drama that you complain about. And I understand that you need to create content that is entertaining in order to get views on YouTube. But when you complain about YouTube having drama or how you aren't getting what you want from the platform, it's because you're putting energy into that stuff. The other day, I seen you post on Instagram about Claudiva. And remember, I said to you in your inbox then, stop doing this. If she is a Black girl lost and she is going through whatever she's doing on YouTube, let her have her moment, because what she's doing is not affecting you, your money, your family, what really matters in life. And I feel like when you do that, you're picking on her. And the reason why I'm so sensitive when it comes to Claudiva is because I feel like she came onto this platform and she was very honest about her mother. People picked on her and her son. And she was put in a position to have to defend herself in many ways that I was. She's not the only woman that's had to do this. I've seen plenty of women get on this platform and have to do that. And I've told them the same thing I'm telling you, Gotti. Please stop entertaining that drama. You don't have to have a response every time somebody do something you don't like. You don't have to have a response every time you feel like somebody is coming after you or saying something to you. You don't have to do that. It's too much. You can use that energy to make your content better on your own channel. Don't do what I did, where I wasted my talent responding back to a whole bunch of hateful people. I let some people take a piece of me. Me and Mark was talking about my videos before. We were talking about the videos that I used to do many, many years ago, how different I was. And I said to him, I was different then. I looked at life different. I was so welcoming of people. I had so much faith in people. I let people come into my social circle that I never should have let come into my social circle because they were there for the wrong reasons and they were doing so much damage to me. And after a while, YouTube became a place where it was inflicting pain on me. It was no longer beneficial to my process of growth because of the environment that other content creators was creating. This environment is not a good place for a Black woman. It isn't for no Black woman, whether you're smart, whether you're single, whether you're young, whether you're old. All of us are getting trolled to death. All of us. And if it gets to a point to where it got to me, to where it was on such an unhealthy level, to where even to this day, me and Mark are still sitting here having to deal with trolls. It's not as bad as it was where people was telling me to kill myself and stuff like that. It's still trolls that are actually in my comment section talking about Priest every day, talking about Sedonia every day. But the way that they talk about them isn't in a healthy manner. It's in a weird, like creepy way. Like they want to know what's happening in my life so bad. I don't want to discuss this stuff. This is not something that I want to bring to the platform. I already spoke about it before. I want to be done with it, but people don't want me to be done with it. They want me to continue to talk about priests. They want me to continue to talk about in detail. I had people pretend. I had a bitch. Let me tell you, I had a bitch hit up my phone over and over and over again and leaves voicemails. One of the voicemails was like, I'm a priest. I just wanted to let you know me and him happy and we're getting married. Then the next message she called back, she was just like, oh yeah, oh priest, oh baby. This is what these people are doing. These demented ass people on YouTube. It's like people actually have time and they feel like this is something that's okay. So when I see a content creator who is creating content where they're using people's, real names, or talking about their families or their kids and shit like that, or they try to make it seem like somebody else is doing that to them so it could justify why they decided to do it, it's disgusting to me. So when I see Gotti do this as a rebuttal or a response, when I know that he has the potential to go further, like on a DJ Academics type of vibe, it bothers me that he wastes his talent. He wastes his talent on this drama and this bullshit, but then complains that that's all YouTube's about. No, that's what you keep investing your energy in. Okay, so Dan, do wealthy people drive Uber and run sandwiches for others? I don't know. I know I've met a lot of people who have more than one hustle. And I think a lot of people, Dan A, are confused about what it means to be wealthy. I think a lot of people who aren't wealthy believe they know what being wealthy is. And when idiots try to make fun of people who drive Uber or DoorDash or Postmates or people who work for Amazon, these are the people that saved your fucking life when you couldn't leave the house. When COVID was happening and your ass ain't had nothing to eat, who was out here delivering food to you? People who drive Uber, people who do delivery. Don't forget that. It's people out here that drive Uber that make way more money than you in a week. And a lot of times people, listen, y'all pick a occupation that looks good to other people instead of how much that shit's gonna pay you. I know a motherfucker that's wealthy right now who does waste management. I'm not talking about picking up trash. I'm talking about literally cleaning water that has shit and pee in it. And he's making a shit ton of money. But you got basic brain bitches like Dan A who would make fun of him for choosing that specific occupation. Stop hating on people who picked the occupation that you too scared to take advantage of because you too worried about how other people are going to look at you for how much, for what you're doing to make money. Money is money. Wealthy people are out here doing all types of shit to get bread. I don't drive Uber and I don't do deliveries anymore. Thank God. I used to, and I'll do that shit again. In a heartbeat. Because while you motherfuckers was sitting around and you couldn't work and was losing out on money, guess who was still getting some bread? Soncerae out here delivering shit to people. Because I'm not ashamed of wanting to take care of me and my son. I will never be. I will do whatever I can to become wealthy and stay there. And don't you fucking forget it. So if that means I have to cut grass, pick up trash, deliver food, I don't give a fuck what it is. If it makes me wealthy, I'm going to do it. Meanwhile, you're going to be sitting here too scared, worried about what people think about you for picking up trash, sitting there still fucking broke. Stop making fun of people for what they're doing to get money. Especially when your ass ain't making half of what they are. I got to go. Nobody got time for this negativity. I got to be out. I'll holler at y'all later.